Hello, Esther. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to see you too.
Thank you so much for coming on to talk about colour archetypes and what you got. I'm really looking forward to this because also you are the first musician that I'm going to be talking with.
Oh, exciting. I'm
Yeah.
honored. Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure. So could you, first of all, just tell us a little bit about you, what you do? First of all, yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I'm a pianist and composer here in Calgary, Alberta, and I write music. I write songs for children to sing. I also write piano music and exploring different genres of writing music. I'm also a singer-songwriter and recording artist myself, and I release my own songs. And as a pianist, I play at weddings. So I run my own freelance music business in the wedding side of things here. So it's been fun.
That sounds amazing, Esther. So many different areas then. What is your favorite, perhaps, out of all of those offers that you have? Do you prefer to sing at or?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I move in and out of phases. But I guess piano being my main instrument, I always go back to it, and I love it. I do love to sing as well. So exploring that side of music gives me an opportunity to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. But yeah, I would say the favorite's still the keys.
Yeah.
But I play a lot of contemporary music anyways, which they're songs, and so it's not uncommon to have me sing along while I'm playing as well. So yeah.
I've seen from your Instagram you singing at the piano, and I love it because it's also very calming. I find, and it's always just calming and beautiful, and so I can understand how that is therapeutic as well for yourself and for others who are listening. So I think that's beautiful, and I just want to say well done for doing that, for making it your living as well. It's like what you love, but also your made it your career, which isn't always easy for us creative.
Yeah, you're right, and thank you for that. It means a lot to me hearing you say that. And yeah, it's been hard, and I think for me it's recently just been a lot of challenges just because I've been moving so much in my life. Hard to stay grounded and create that network that you can network of other musicians that you can connect to and everything. So it's always a climb for me every time I move to a new city. I feel like I'm always starting brand new. But with age and experience, then we grow and we learn, and I'm still learning so much about it, which is what makes it very interesting. It's like almost like an adventure for me. Yeah,
totally. And life is an adventure, right? And exactly. We do, a lot of us, well, yeah, some of us do move around a lot and others don't. But I think it's good. It's good experience, of course, to move around, and it strengthens us in a way. And we learn so much. So I think so far, from what I've seen, it's turned out positive.
Thank you.
Yeah. My question too then is, could you let us know what colour archetype you got, and if it was accurate in your opinion?
Yes, I did the quiz. It was really fun, and I got submedians, which was very accurate. And when I read the description, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. and just looking back at experiences that I've had with people in my personal life, in my work life, in my romantic relationships, like everything, it's just all, yeah, it describes it 100%. So yeah.
Brilliant. Very happy to hear that. Actually, the last person I had on here, Yvonne Jane, she's also submediant.
Oh.
And I asked her, maybe I can ask you, what is the standout characteristic of that for you? Or maybe also at the same time, can you give us one example in your life where that trait has come about?
Yeah. The one standout, I would say, with the trait associated with that archetype is sensitivity. And I am a very sensitive person. I mean, people do tell me that as well. And I don't know if it, sometimes it can be a blessing, sometimes it can be a curse.
Yes.
But I do feel things very deeply, whether it's a real life experience or if even in just watching a movie or seeing or hearing somebody else's story. I tend to feel those emotions, right? Those human experiences that we share together. And I think that's the biggest one that stood out for me with that. And it probably ties into, I mean, I've done a lot of personality quizzes, back in my younger days as well. And it ties a lot into the empathy trait. Yeah. So it's, it goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
And I can list many experiences with, that I had. But the one that stood out for me that I can share is when I was working. I used to be an engineer before I came back into music, before motherhood and all of that. So, and I remember this one day we had a meeting. And it was a big meeting. It was a group of 8 of us in the room. And I had been working in the company for about, close to 2 years then. And many of the people in the room were seniors. They were, had 10, 20, 30 years of experience. And then, so we had a big meeting. And there was one guy in there who was fairly new, like me, as an engineer as well. And so we were all in the meeting and things were getting a little tense. There's some, disagreements and things like that. But I noticed, because of my personality trait, I tend to read the room really deeply.
Yeah.
And even at the start, I noticed this guy, he was quiet the whole time and he hadn't said anything. And I guess for me, sometimes when I get into those situations where I feel the empathy and, I feel that maybe, I want to make things a little less tense or just to kind of mediate almost, right? Like indirectly. And so just trusting my intuition, I casually shifted the conversation a little bit within the discussion. And I, then I looked at him and I said, and I directed a question to him. Like, what do you think? Like I kind of prodded him a little bit to, kind of give a little push for him to say something, because he might have something important to say.
It's involving, yes.
Because, in a room, it's really hard when there's a lot of different personalities in the room and they're trying to take over the conversation. And it can be hard for people like me, and as well as, the new guy to
have the courage, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. It's hard. And so and I'm glad I did that, because then then he started to, you know, say something, and
Mm.
and it was good, and I felt good about that, right? And I think, I mean, at the end of the meeting, we all ended on a good note and everything, and it
Good.
was good. But I remember that really clearly, because for me in that situation, sometimes I get afraid of doing that as well, right? And that's one that really I really remembered, because I patted myself on the back. I was like, oh, you know, it's I felt good, you know, like bringing somebody in a difficult situation to be part of, and everything
That's
was
beautiful. And something I can totally relate to as well, that because I also tend to do that. Either I like to bring maybe balance in a room, you know, if it's
yeah,
getting out
it's
of
a great
hand.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's quite a good teacher trait as well. I think a lot of empaths, okay, not all teachers, but obviously
Yeah.
that is a very good quality to have.
Yeah, you know, and thinking about that, like I used to teach
Mm.
a few years ago. I taught piano from my home, and you know, seeing different students, and you know, their different personalities too. And I think, as you said, that trait does help
Yeah.
in how I would tailor the lesson.
Mm-mm.
And I quickly realized then, because you know, being a new to teaching piano and everything,
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing a lot of things on my own with trial and error and figuring it out. But then, you know, I quickly realized that there's no one
Mm.
method I could use
Yeah.
with all the students. I
Absolutely.
had to tweak it, and yeah, so and it worked, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then I didn't want students to, you know, end up in tears or whatever going home, or not
No.
wanting to come back or whatever. And so I think that that really helped, and it really
Yeah.
established a really good relationship with each of the students. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So my third question is if you had to pick your color archetype before you did the quiz,
Mhm.
what would you have picked?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question, because I think I would have picked orange.
Mm.
And I don't think it was in the color archetype that I think on the quiz it was yellow, red, purple. Yeah, for
Yes.
sub medium. Yeah. Yeah.
Purple, red, yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. Close enough. But but yeah, I
But I
would have
mean,
picked
red
orange.
and yellow make orange, so it's fine.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but that makes well, what I was going to say, why it makes sense to me, but explain to me why you would why you're drawn to orange, why you
Mhm.
think you would have been orange.
I felt it was orange. Well, orange is it's a warm color,
Yeah.
and you know, with that trait of, you know, being empathetic and sensitive,
Mm.
uh I think it's a very warm personality trait, but
Yeah.
not it's not so strong like a red
Mm.
almost. Like red is like the primary color, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so I felt like orange was calming and warm,
Hmm.
and it's a color of sunsets. So you know, when we look at sunsets, it just gives people a very refreshing, calm feeling, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're feeling sad or happy, or you know, or you're grieving, or something. And I think orange is such a color that's yeah, like beautiful and relaxing, and
Yeah.
it's just inviting you to just, you know, stay in the moment and let it settle almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, overall warming, not too intense, but warming,
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get that. Excellent. Okay, I have another question, but I can't remember what it is. So let me refer to my notes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, actually, those were all my questions. Um, Actually, I'll go off the questions a little bit because I saw something in one of your posts, right? And I thought it was so touching. And when I read it, I thought, okay, yeah, that's totally like an empath, totally submediant, something that I related to. I'll just read it to you. You'll recognize it as soon as you hear.
Okay.
So if you've ever wondered why I celebrated the small wins, it's because they were never small to me. That's what stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I think, in relations to the archetype and the traits that we've been talking about, and I think that being so sensitive and feeling everything so close to heart, I think, really for me, it's just about noticing the details and really believing that it's true to you, right? So, I mean, for me, I faced a lot of challenges in my life, and I think I've come to a point where I've come to accept this trait of mine. It never used to be something that I would be proud of, right? It's yeah, like I said, it can be a blessing in some situations, and it can be a curse. And it was really all about coming to a point in my life where, this is who I am, and I'm proud of it. I own it. And like such a situations that I've shared with you, those stories, like it has helped people, whether in a small way or a big way. And I think that's what's beautiful about it. And I celebrate that now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it does touch a lot of people. And like to me, it made me think of how I also concentrate on the little things. You could be going out for a walk, but your family's walking up ahead, and then you stop because you're looking at something.
Yes, that's me too.
Or that's the smallest thing.
Yeah.
But it's in everything. Like we tend to notice things in a room or in people, as you demonstrated earlier with your colleague there. And I think that's lovely. So okay, so the one of the last question basically is, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I mean, I've been following your work. I'm a big fan, and
Thank you so much.
It's just so cool to see how you connect music with colors and really into a piece of art. Like, I think that's just really absolutely wonderful. And so, you talk a lot about note to colors, it being its tonality and its rhythm as well. So in terms of how you piece them together. And so I'm curious to know, when you work on a piece of art, do you listen to the same piece like constantly again and again while you're working at it? I guess coming from a musician's point of view, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you. And I haven't had that one before. So I don't constantly listen to it when I'm working on it, because it's a translation. And this is very interesting because I don't translate the dynamics. So the pianissimo, the fortes, the if it's in legato or anything else.
Yeah, like the expressions. Yeah.
The expressions. Yeah, exactly. I did try a little bit in, I worked on Take a Chance on Me. I tried to play, I blurred the lines a bit to, go back to that old, was it 70s, 80s video to kind of mimic that. But generally, I would listen to the piece, but I don't need it playing because it's purely a translation note to note. It's purely systematic.
Okay.
However, and I work on the computer. However, lately I've been going back to paint. And I was against that early on because it interfered with the precision of the color, you see, because you can't really control the paint on a brush.
Yeah.
You can to an extent, but it's never going to be 100%.
Right.
But now I am exploring that. And instead of whole pieces, I'm going to be concentrating on just a bar of music. So just a few notes. And so in this case, I may be adopting a more expressive approach to the color, how I apply it, and then maybe omit certain notes as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it changes the whole color dynamic.
Right.
And sometimes, and before I said, okay, well, it is what it is. I'll translate it, and that's the piece.
Yeah.
As I'm translating, I see the colors arise, and I think, oh, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. And then I translate some more, and I thought, oh, okay, that changed it. Don't really like that, but never mind. That's how it is.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Yeah. You know, I mean, as a musician, and you know, and me being a pianist, and the piano instrument, you know, has a certain sound and timbre to it, and you know, and I think even as a composer, like I think of music notes, how they would sound in a certain instrument, like a certain timbre. So you know, you compare it yourself to strings or the horns. It's very different experience. So I guess for you, like if you're saying it's a note to note, like, you know, a note to color translation, so then is that something that maybe you might consider as well? Like, because music, I mean, there's just so much in the world. And, yeah, I wonder if, also curious to see what you think about that and how that would
I mean,
art.
That would be another dimension, definitely. And
yeah,
I've touched upon it a little bit, but yeah, it's certainly a much larger area to explore. And yeah, totally. I mean, I've done a little bit where I've worked in an opposite way, where I have, like with faces, I've drawn a line, so maybe the profile, and then from that line, I've created a melody. Like I place it on the staff lines.
Oh, okay.
Vertically, and then I work out what notes there are, and then I've created a little short. I've tried using horns on it or violin and to see what it sounds like. So I've played a little bit, but definitely it is, yeah, that would be a whole new world that is worth exploring for sure.
Oh yeah, well, very, very cool.
Thank you so much. I love those questions. And I love this conversation. It feels like it went really, really quickly, and we could talk about so much.
Yes.
Would you like to share anything, or maybe just give us your handles? Where can we find out about you and your services?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a composer, and I write songs for children choirs to sing recently. But I'm also planning to release a single soon. I haven't done one in a while. So hoping for that to come around early next year.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just, you know, it's just about getting all of those things lined up in place. It takes a lot of work to release a song, I find. And you know, I have existing songs, and you can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Esther Ling Pianist. And you can also visit my website, where I have everything there at www.estherlingpianist.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
YouTube channel. Yeah, right. I have a YouTube channel. Right. I always forget about that.
Oh, that's important. Okay. Yeah. So I will put everything at the bottom of this, and I will encourage everybody to go follow you and check your website out.
Yeah.
And it's been a real pleasure, Esther. So thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun. And go take Elizabeth's quiz. It's fun too.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, okay. Have a good day. Bye.
If you haven't taken the Colour Archetype quiz yet, then follow the link in my profile. I'll put it below in the notes as well. And please feel free to share in the comments what colour archetype you got.